This is the Global Village. I'm Sergio Mielniczenko. Stay with us. Up next, our conversation with filmmaker Sylvie Rokab. Stay with us. Sylvie Rokab, how are you?
Hi, Sergio. I'm doing great.
You are doing great and doing very busy, right?
Very busy lately, for sure.
And you are working on that beautiful film. I've seen some parts of it, the trailer, Love, Thy Nature.
Right.
And you've been involved in film for quite some time in Brazil, in Rio, in the United States. You have been nominated for very special awards that worked with television, film. Tell us a little bit about this journey from Brazil and the United States and this art form, which is filmmaking.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because even though I was born and raised in Brazil, I actually moved out here like I was quite young. I was barely 22. And so I started filmmaking actually in the States.
Right.
And I keep hoping that my projects take me more often to Brazil just because it's such a rich
the dream, right?
country that it's like it's funny that way.
Yeah.
I've been mostly based here and doing films here and going to Brazil in certain occasions, but for the most part it's been an American evolution.
Right.
Uh-huh.
What about the documentary film? It's something that is one of the hardest things to do, but also one of the most exciting things to do in film because of the ideas, the freedom, and it's always like a surprise when you're doing a documentary. It's an unfolding series of events. You can research, you can do, but when you start doing it, it starts evolving, right?
Right. It's got its own story.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing because some people tell me, it's like, how can I be on this business for so long? It's been 17 years now. And my answer is always like, I can't help it. It's almost like, it's such a rush to be able to explore a topic that you're passionate about and bring it to life in a way that hopefully will, entice audiences, that I just can't help myself from doing it.
In this film that you're working on right now, Love, Thy Nature, it's a totally work of love. But
Right.
it's not only your personal love, but it has to do with humanity, the
Right.
planet, and everything else. So you bring into it your experience and all these years of working with media into something that is somewhat decisive and for you personally and to those who might be inspired to do something about it.
Right. It's been a dream of mine. I think back since I was a kid, I've always had the pleasure of like exploring nature and sharing it with my buddies, and like from showing them critters to, loving to go swimming or whatever. And growing up in Brazil was a real gift because, I'm from Rio, and every weekend we would go to beaches and mountains and beautiful places. And, so I've been wanting to do this film for a very long time. It's almost like this is like, if there's a climax to your career, I know that this is it, because I'm finally working on what I really have been wanting to do. And I feel that I'm sort of wanting to awaken something that exists in every one of us, which is that love for the natural world. It's innate. We can't help it. And, there are so many amazing films out there that talk about our destruction of the environment and the things that we need to do to live more sustainably on this planet. And they're all extremely important. The topic of Love Thy Nature goes a notch deeper because it really looks at how we are nature. It's like our in-breath is the out-breath of a tree. We drink and we eat everything that comes from the natural world.
It is very interesting that sometimes we look at nature and we forget that we are part of it.
Right.
We think human beings, human race, we dominate, we have the planet,
Right.
and we see ourselves many times as above of it.
More intelligent,
Right,
or
and
we can outsmart nature.
Right.
And the funny thing is that we're discovering that we can't, because when we have tried to look into new technologies that were against the wisdom of nature, we've kind of broken our faces. And there's a new science that's called biomimicry out there, and it's fascinating because it's looking at how nature, with its 4 billion years of evolution on this planet, has figured out the things that we're most trying to figure out.
Right.
You know, we're trying to capture the energy from the sun, and leaves and plants have been doing photosynthesis since they exist for billions of years. And so, you know, the discovery of color, it's like butterflies have color in their wings without pigment. How can we have color without creating toxic dyes? So the science is just mind-blowing, and that's one of the things the film is addressing.
A little bit behind nature, right? Always trying to catch up, and you discover something, then as you said, you realize, well, nature already has it for millions of years in some cases. Shooting nature, it must be one of the most difficult things, because the beauty of it, and as a photographer, a person looking through the camera, to be fair to nature and to be able to transmit what you have in mind, it must be one of the most difficult things to do. I've seen the clips and the trailers of your film. They're gorgeous, beautiful shots. But to get to that is like, wow, how can we do this? And to be fair, right?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, the secret of it is really spending as much time as possible out in the wild and just letting it sort of like express itself as it normally does. So, you know, you might be hoping for beautiful sunshine and the sunlight reflecting on water, and what you get is a beautiful, powerful storm with like lightning, and you're like, well, that's not exactly what I need right now, but but it's on nature's time, right? So I mean, I love to, it's like, thankfully on my film, I'm not having to wait for months for that shot of an animal chasing another. It's not that kind of image.
It's not National Geographic.
It's not that kind of, it's not National Geographic, it's not Planet Earth, but so I have a lot of flexibility in terms of what imagery I can get. But I still feel like, gosh, am I doing this justice? Because the reality of it is, even with all the technology we have today, being immersed in it, our eyes can capture so much more, and our senses and our smells and our feeling the wind on our skin. So the challenge that I'm having is like, how can I capture the beautiful and the powerful and sometimes the scary even things in nature, and really have them make that translate through the lens into, you know, can the cinematic experience be as powerful as I'm wanting it to be?
The challenge, yes,
so that's the challenge, definitely.
What is the essence of Love Thy Nature?
The way I look at it, it's that it's the very first film that addresses the root cause of our environmental crisis, which is humanity's disconnection from nature. And instead of just kind of proposing a solution, it actually takes the audience through it by immersing them in a very sensual, awe-inspiring, and poetic kind of cinematic experience of our relationship with the natural world. So that's really what it's about.
So right now you are evolving into the production, and you have a little bit to go.
Well, I've already shot quite a bit. We have already shot quite a bit. Me and I have another cinematographer, Rohan Chitraukar, who's been working on it too. And we are probably 50% done filming. So I'm having a few more interviews to film and a few other locations that I want to go to, including Brazil. And, you know, we're looking at Costa Rica, and ideally we'd like to go to Tanzania and Kenya. But so we still have a little ways to go, but we're like right now really excited to be throwing a big event in
I was gonna ask.
in LA. Just we're only about 2 weeks away now. It's on the 17th of September. And it's a fundraising event, but I usually call it a fundraiser. Because it's like I'm really wanting to create a movement out of this film. And in order to even make the film be successful, it's important that the audience is raised this early on in the game. To really, you know, people who resonate with the topic, it's like if they want to be involved and want to come aboard and just follow us on Facebook or Twitter or come to one of our events. What we're wanting to do is just, it's like Hillary used to say, it takes a village to raise a child. I say it takes a village to make a film, because
Right.
it's like, everybody who gets involved gives something, even if it's their attention or a conversation with a friend. Or in some cases, I've been blessed with people who have donated their time, like doing editing and shooting and like, being involved on the project just because they want to, because they see the vision. So it's been quite an amazing journey.
Sylvie Rokab with us. She's the film director, the director of this lovely, amazing life experience, Love Thy Nature. And where is the event?
It's going to be at the G2 Gallery
G2.
in Venice at Bikini Boulevard.
Right.
And on September 17th from 7 to 10 p.m. And people who are interested can go online, or the website is Love Thy Nature, and it's lovethynature.com. And, they can drop us an email, RSVP if they want to come, and we're selling tickets inexpensively. It's only $20 to get in.
Fantastic.
And $30 for 2 people. So we're already getting amazing responses.
I love it.
It's gonna be quite an event.
It's right in my neighborhood. I can walk there. What is the address again?
It's 1503 Abbot Kinney Boulevard in Venice.
I know the gallery, yeah.
And it's a beautiful gallery.
Yeah.
They have nature photography there.
Right.
And we're going to have also some nature photography. My brother is a still photographer, and he specializes in shooting nature. We have a lot in common. He does stills and I do cinematography. And he donated a lot of his images from Alaska, Palau, and the Great Barrier Reef off of Australia. And we're going to have some of his photographs there, and a silent auction, and some organic wine has been donated, and food.
I love it.
It's great. It's
What is the date again?
Really fun. September 17th from 7 to 10 p.m.
Beautiful. Sylvie, thanks for coming by, sharing all this beautiful film in the make, and we are going to do everything to finish it, right?
My pleasure. Thank you, Sergio. Absolutely. That's the goal.
All right.
We're going to get there.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you.